Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to my content. As I've said before, please feel free to check out my playlist. Make sure that you're in my channel, click on the playlist tab, and you're going to see a variety of videos that I have posted there on different topics. You're also welcome to just watch my videos as they are uploaded. Feel free to leave comments, guys. Just keep them respectful. I do not condone fighting or anything on this channel. Please understand that all comments are subject to pre-approval before they are made public. So that means even though it looks as if your comment has been posted, it has not. It goes to this little area where it is held for review, and we will take a look at all the comments and we will approve what needs to be approved. This is done, guys, to ensure that there are no trolls. I am open to opinions. I'm open to differences in opinions, differences in belief even. However, when it comes to attacking, someone trying to attack you guys on your comments or fighting or blatant disrespect, we're just not going to entertain it. So whatever your feedback may be, you don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to have the same opinion. But it is being able to have an adult conversation that is minus profanity and insults. Being able to speak and not bully. Being able to speak and not taunt. Because those types of comments are going to get flushed. And we already know how to look. We can just, without reading it, we can look and just spot those words. And there are settings on YouTube already set up to pick out keywords, certain words that just not okay. Your comment is not even going to reach me. Okay? We got to grow up. So, anywhoots, thank you so much for being a part of this channel, guys. I'm in my vehicle right now, and I am sitting here getting ready to go in and get a couple things done. But I want to talk about how toxicity is contagious. Toxicity is contagious. It is as contagious as the Ebola virus was. It's as contagious as COVID. It is as contagious as hepatitis. It is as contagious as AIDS. Okay, guys, had to make a correction here. HIV/AIDS, of course, I know it is not contagious. So forgive me for that faux pas. It is contagious. It is contagious. So avoid it. Toxic people. We all are going to go through things in our lives that, we're going to go through things. We're going to have our ups or downs, our highs or lows. We're going to do things right, and other times we're going to do things that's just not right. It is okay. These things happen. It's human nature. However, what is not okay is to be in a cycle of toxicity, where you continue to do things that will hurt other people, when you're okay being vindictive, when you're okay being immoral, amoral, when you're okay being divisive and a constant thorn in other people's side, when you do not take accountability and responsibility for your action, and you've lived and behaved this way since you were in middle school, high school, college, throughout your life, throughout your youth and middle age, and now as you are over 50, you continue to behave this way. Whether it's you or other people, please understand that when you hang around, I have to say this correctly. Those of you who are around individuals who behave in the way that I have previously described just now, and you're trying to stay with them, and you're trying to remain in that friendship, and you're trying to understand them, and you're trying to remain in that relationship or in that partnership or even in that ministry, and trying to stay in business with these individuals, or you're trying to hang around them because you share blood, you share DNA, understand that if they're not willing to change, and if they cannot acknowledge where they're at, and if they think that they're just fine where they're at, and they're gonna just stay the way that they are in their behavior, if you choose to be with them, You are going to change. It's toxic. It's contagious. You are going to pick up on some of their ways. And whether it is to defend yourself, whether it is to just sustain yourself, whether it is to keep yourself from being completely attacked, you're going to have to take on a whole different approach in order to survive. And it's called survival mode. So now you may start to be rude to them. Maybe you start to do the things back to them that they used to do. Maybe you start to give them the silent treatment that they give you. Maybe you start to be overtly rude and disrespectful to them as they are with you. Maybe you start to tell about their business the way they're telling about your business. But one thing, regardless of whatever you're doing, one thing is for sure, they are getting the upper hand because they are changing your nature. They're destroying your character. Why? Because this behavior is contagious. When you were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and positive and happy, you hang around a toxic person long enough, they're going to drain your energy and you're going to change. The brightness and the light in your eyes are going to go dim. Your smile is slowly going to turn into a frown. Your expectation will no longer be. It will become angry. It will become hostile even. And before you know it, you are just as good at the banter with them as they used to be with you. You may even outdo them. And you must understand that this is very satisfying to people of this nature to some degree, because now they're going to feel justified in what they're doing. Now they have something to argue about. Now they have quote unquote evidence of why you are the cause of everything that has happened. You see, when you behave like them, suddenly everything shifts and you are the whole reason for how they have behaved. They have something to go and tell people. That is why when a person who normally is very calm and collected, a person who is very, an individual who normally is very calm in their response, the minute that person, because of the constant mistreatment or maltreatment of these individuals, the minute that they react and they respond and they go off, this is when the narcissist and these individuals, these toxic people, are going to pick up the phone and call someone and have you on speakerphone as you're having your meltdown. They're going to record your reaction and not their provocations. They're going to talk about what you did when you walk away and you step away from them in some cases. They're going to talk about why you're not speaking to them, and look at how he's treating me and look at how she's treating me, while omitting the fact that you've been patient and kind and you have been tolerant all these years and all this time and all these months. But your meltdown and your hurt, they're going to capitalize on it because they need that. It is so important to them to have that. And they will bring it up all the time. They're going to bring up that one moment or those two things that you have done. It's going to be a big deal. And they're going to spin it as if you initiated this behavior and they just responded. And you know it's not true. But you know what? They're going to spin it and they're going to talk about it in such a way you're going to begin to question your reality. And that is a danger of being around these type of people. They're contagious. It'll get on you and it'll be hard to get off. Their personality will get in you. And you won't recognize yourself. You look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. You see an angry person, a gaunt individual in some cases when you are physically affected. You don't care anymore about your parents. You put on makeup and it just sits on your face. Or you've never worn makeup, but now you feel like you need it because they have just done so much. Your skin broke out. You don't look the same. You no longer have any interest in the things that you used to have interest in. You no longer want to be around your friends, your family, the people you are normally with. You're not as social anymore because they've broken you down. And in many cases, they may have alienated you from your friends and your loved ones. When you see these red flags in people, when you see these behaviors in individuals, don't ignore it. Don't allow it to thrive. Don't allow this contagion to thrive and to grow. It's like mold. You see mold, you get rid of it. You see that dust, get rid of it, because you let it sit there, it's going to spread, and then it's going to get in you. You're going to be sick. It's going to take a lot to get yourself well again. And that's just what they do. And a lot of times people that behave in this way, as I've said in videos past, they have had something happen to them. Whether in their childhood, whether in their teen years, whether as they were young adults, something happened to them and they did not deal with it well. They have not dealt with it. A lot of times they're still holding bitterness, unforgiveness against the person who violated them in some way. And because they've never dealt with that, and because they've covered it up with a great body and education and a funny sense of humor and all these things, you see, a lot of times, I told you, there's a difference between a person's character and some attributes that they have. There are people who are funny, who are good at listening, who are helpful, but they're still liars and cheats and deceivers. Because there's a difference between their attributes and what they will do when faced with doing what is right and what's wrong. There's a difference in how they behave in public and what they'll do when they are alone. When they're presented with taking a high moral ground or going gutter. Okay? So those things are very different. And unfortunately, they're hard to pinpoint because they've spent a lot of their years behaving this way, covering up, putting on a facade. And you wonder, where's this wonderful man or woman? Where's this wonderful friend I had? Well, you must understand that they're like chameleons. They're going to look at you. They're going to assess you, see what you like, get to know you, and they're going to mirror that. They're going to emulate that. They're going to pretend to have the same interests as you, laugh at the same thing you laugh at, frown at the things you frown at. They're going to pretend to have the same moral values as you do. And then they get a hold of you. And once they see that you are in love with them or you are really invested in them, slowly but surely, they start to bring you down little by little. And it is in increments. It starts with one infraction after another. They just keep doing little things, and then they'll see how you deal with that. Did they take that? Did they allow me to get away with that? Did they forgive me for that? Oh, okay. I got away with that. All right. Now they're going to up the ante and give you a little more and a little more. And once they see that you're not going anywhere, they can now open up the floodgates and do certain things because you're not leaving. So you literally become emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and even physically sick. Why? That toxicity is contagious. And you will begin to behave and speak in ways that you don't recognize or you're ashamed of. And then your shame makes you believe that you might as well stay with this person, and they're going to push against that and they're going to pile onto that and cause you to really question yourself, and because your shame and your guilt, because truly you are an empath, truly you are a person who is sympathetic, truly you are someone who believes in right over wrong. When you see yourself that way, you're going to think of yourself in a way as having failed. You're going to be ashamed. You're going to feel like you're less deserving of better relationships. And you're going to be stuck. But I want you to understand that that's not who you are. You're just sick right now. You got the got, okay? This person, you have caught their cooties. And you just got to get away from them. Remember when your kids are like, oh, you got cooties. They got cooties. They had cooties. Failing to deal with their hurt, their pain. They live for victimhood. They live to tell the tale of everything that's wrong with them. And as I said in the past, there's nothing wrong with talking and sharing about your life experiences, but there should be some sort of encouragement, some sort of, at the end of that, to show that, hey, I've grown, I am moving forward. I'm not going to let those things hold me back. And if they're not able to do that, they must be willing to get the help that they need. This is through prayer. This is through the word. This is through counsel. And I'm talking about professional counseling. They have to do the hard work of realizing, hey, I got issues. I have problems. I have this habit. I can't stop doing this. Every relationship I'm in, I destroy it. Everything I do, everywhere I go, there's a shadow following me. I'm behaving a certain way. They must be willing to do those things, you see, in order to change and to become better. It is not your responsibility. It's not up to you. It's not up to me to change them. And it doesn't matter who they are. They could have been your best friend from elementary school, your best friend in college, your best friend from childhood, your friend next door, across the street, up the block. It could be your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your aunts, your uncle, and even your children. And the closer they are to you, and especially if you share DNA, it's going to be very hard to even make those decisions. But one thing that I would tell you about the toxicity in these individuals is that when you have to think about it like this, especially when you have your own family, have your own children, you have to be the person that's going to open new doors for your children. If you're around family members that continue to have the same toxic behaviors, where they're rude or disrespectful or whatever it is that they may do, and they do this thing in front of your children and in front of your family, your husband, your wife, and your co-workers, and they bring that toxicity and that poor and that bad behavior, and they'll embarrass you, and they behave without any sort of decorum, no boundaries. This contagion is now going to be witnessed by your children. They're confused. They see grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt, whoever behaving in this manner. Okay? And you'll have that. If they have their own children, they'll play their children against you. If you have a toxic parents, they'll play your children. They will compare your children against your siblings' children. Continue the same thing that they've always done. Disrespecting you at family gatherings. All of these things. You're going to pass on those seeds. Those seeds are being planted in your children. And so why you may have to draw clean lines, set boundaries, or even separate yourself is because you have to now, it's no longer you and your mom, you or your dad, you and your bestie, but you have children and you have to safeguard them. And you have to set the tone for the next generation. That means if your children are around a bunch of toxic behavior all the time and arguing, and 1 minute y'all talking and the next minute you're not, next minute you're going to auntie's house, next minute they're not, and all these things are going on and they're hearing about what you did and you're being disrespected and you in front of your husband or wife and your children, those seeds are being planted because they see it through their eyes, they heard it in their ears, it goes down into their heart, their soul, and it sits there, and now it springs up. Now they are hyper vigilant when they get around the family. They are learning who not to upset. But when you pull away from it, while it may seem foreign and it may seem lonely, what you're going to find is you're going to have peace. Your children are not around that toxicity. Your children they're in an environment that is stable and it is consistent. And it is absent of all the toxic, nasty, rude narratives, the nasty, mean verbal abuse, the hypervigilance, the tension, the silence that's so loud. You remove them from that. And that's why it becomes important. Sometimes you may think, some of you may have separated yourself and you're going, man, did I do the right thing? But think about it. Do you have peace? Are you more relaxed? And you look at your children and you think of The things that they used to be exposed to. Are they going to hear plates flying, people cursing, people having an attitude, people suddenly not wanting to talk to you anymore? Are they still overhearing you having arguments with that family member or with this person or with this business partner? No, it's not happening anymore. And the reason why, and that is what's more important than, oh, I miss my mom, I miss my dad, I miss my best friend, I miss this person. Yeah, you miss them, but think about all that comes with them. And that is what I want you to understand about the contagion, and that toxicity is contagious, and why it's important to remove yourself from that, why it is very important to alienate them. Okay? It is not malice and it is not unforgiveness. It is the necessity. It is what you have to do. Because it will change you. They'll have you in a state of depression. They'll have you in a state of anxiety. They'll have you in a place of questioning your reality. You'll become insecure. You'll gain weight, or you'll lose weight. You will lose your hair. You lose your reputation. You can lose your business. You can lose your associates, because these people can come and cause so much problem in your life that, you know what? Your relationships with your family, even with your children, can be destroyed because this person is sitting there causing trouble, whether they're covert or they're overt, whether it's obvious that they're doing it or they do it in the sneaky way. And my goodness, let me tell you, those sneaky ones with the mousy eyes and the beady eyes and the glasses, and they're going to church and the Bible is highlighted and saturated. These are the ones that are the worst, because they are hard to catch. But you will be utterly destroyed. They can lead you to off yourself if you're not careful. These individuals could cause you to start looking at people in a way that you never looked at people. You would start to think the worst of other people because they have lied and they've told you all these things and they've created a narrative that's not true. Beware of people that's always telling you, don't tell anyone I said this, don't tell anyone I said it. Listen, and they go around doing that. So they fill people with lies, and at the same time they're saying don't tell anyone, don't say anything. And because most of the people that they're messing up, they are actually people who will keep their word and they're not going to say anything. So you are all looking at each other sideways when this person, all they've done is sit there and created lies. This can be your leaders in church. And I'm telling you, people in church can cause a lot of problems, especially just because of their positions. People just automatically believe them because of the position that they're holding. There are lots of people who have stopped talking to, have alienated, have cut off people, have mistreated people because the pastor said not to. First lady said, the deacon said, all these people told you not to talk to someone. You don't even know what's going on, but pastor said it. That is a really, really, really sad state to be in. That grown adults can be convinced not to talk to somebody. But guys, let me stop here and just talk to you about and end this by saying, sometimes it may seem scary to walk away from these individuals because to some degree you've become dependent on them. And some of you may have to wait a little bit longer. You may have to plan strategically because you can't just walk away for whatever reason. But pray and ask God to help you and check out resources that you can get that are available to take those steps to go. And some of you have opportunities to separate yourself, but you convince yourself. You see, every time you get ready to step away from these people, the honeymoon phase steps in. Every time you're getting ready to walk away, you'll have a great time with this person. Oh, you had a good time at the family gathering. You guys talked on the phone. You guys reconciled in some way, but that is just a way to pull you in again. Even when they don't know. Why is it that even when they don't know what you're planning, suddenly they get nice? Because it's a spiritual thing. It is a spiritual thing. And so when you're getting ready to make moves, things begin to happen. to say, no, we're going to stop this. No, we're going to stop them from being able to make these decisions. But guys, toxicity is contagious if you stick around too long. And the reason why it may seem hard to do it is because you've been around a toxic person for too long. You've lost sight of yourself. You've forgotten who you are. You're believing their narrative and what they've told you. And then on top of it, when you look at the way that you have changed, and when you look at how nasty you've become, and when you look at how you become so good at arguing and talking back, and you look at the meltdown you've had and you've behaved unseemly, you begin to feel as if you're deserving of anything bad, or you just see yourself, you're ashamed of yourself. So you don't see yourself being deserving of love and respect. You just think, I need to just stay here. This is who I've become now. But I want you to know that through prayer, guys, you can be changed. I want you to know, by taking practical steps and going to organizations and going to counseling and reading books and reading and looking and going online even and learning about narcissists and learning about these people who are manipulative and learning about what it is to be an empath and how the dynamics of those two things can cause you to be entrapped. You'll be able to be set free. And it's going to feel alien, and it's going to feel crazy, and it's going to feel, I don't know. But you can do it. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You can do all things that you put your mind to do. Toxicity is contagious. Stay away from it. And you're going to know it. I'm not saying that we can never ever talk about things that goes on or we cannot share. You can do that, but you're going to know the difference between a person who constantly goes on and on about everything negative, everything sad. Beware the person that's always telling you, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me, or this is what happened in my childhood. They begin to tell you these things, and you're feeling sorry for them, and you feel like you can protect them, and you can be there for them, and you can be a support. But you must always ask the question, so where are you at with this now? Have you overcome it? What's going on? What is your position on this thing that you've experienced? If they're still talking about it like it just happened yesterday, this person's not healed. This is not someone you can be in a relationship with. And a lot of times they'll tell you these things, so when they start to misbehave, when they become these little miscreants, they can go, you know about my childhood? You know what my mama did to me? You know what my daddy did to me? You know about when my uncle slapped my bologna sandwich off the table? You know when my little brother drank my juice? You know about... Nah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And I'm not making or taking light or being funny or even saying it's funny that these things have happened. I'm not. Not at all. But you have to know the difference and realize that individuals that want to stay in this puddle of woe. And if you stay with them and you're trying to have a relationship with them, you see, they may like your light. They may like your energy. They may love, your encouragement. They love that, but they have nothing to give. And they're going to suck you dry and begin to make you feel bad for being the way that you are and being critical of your disposition and your character. And they're going to ruin you because they hate to see what they are not or what they once were. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to say no. It's okay to shut the door. It's okay to start fresh. It's okay to never look back. It's okay to set boundaries. I hope this makes sense, guys. God bless.